Good afternoon, sir.
Está empezando el good evening, right? Hello, how are you guys? What do we have here? Daira? Daira, is your first day, yes? Your first class?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. Welcome. My name is Mr. Carlos. Welcome to Unit 2324. And you're just on time you're starting on the right day because we're gonna start a unit tonight. We're gonna do Unit 23, which is the passive voice. Not that hard. Always seeing the difference between active voice and passive voice. It's not that hard because you can use it with all the tenses. So we're just gonna see different examples, do some exercises, and that's how we're gonna see Unit 23. So welcome again, Daira. Hello, Camila. How are you? Camila, are you there?
Yes, teacher. Good evening.
Okay, hello, how are you? Good evening. All right, let's wait on the rest. Esperemos al resto a ver who comes in. All right, they usually take a little bit. I know it's 6:05, pero igual toman a few minutes always. So let's see who else joins us, okay? Give them a few more minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, so I guess it's just us three. So let's make the best of the class. I think it's gonna be a lot better, more practice for you guys. All right, so I'm gonna share a screen with you guys and show you a Jamboard active voice, passive voice, voices. What is voice? So let's see that real quick. So, I mean, while this loads up, oh, there it is already, but, you know, the voice in American, in English, period, not in English, we have two different types of voices, the active voice and the passive voice, okay? The active voice is when the subject does the action. I play the piano. I'm the subject. I'm doing the action. I'm playing the piano, right? I play the piano. Now that same sentence, I can turn it around and make it into the passive voice. What does that mean? That means the subject in this sentence is going to take the action, is going to receive the action. Okay, so I play the piano. Active voice. Why? Because the subject, me, is doing the action, right? The piano is played by me. The piano is played by me. The piano becomes the subject and it's receiving the action from me that's going to play it, right? It's not, the piano is not going to do the action, right? It's going to receive the action from me. So that's in the passive voice. So that's what the difference is between two before we see it in writing, right? So you can just hear me. So that's the difference between the two voices in English, the active voice and the passive voice. Again, the active voice, the subject does the action, right? I play basketball. I'm doing the action. I play basketball. Basketball is played by me. Passive voice. Why? Because the basketball is becoming the subject and it's going to receive the action from me that's going to play it, right? So that's what that means, active, passive. I don't know if you guys can understand. I think if you can understand what I'm saying, then I think it's clear. Now we just need to see it in writing, right? And it'll be more clear. And then we'll do some exercises and practice, and it'll be double times the double clear, right? All right, so anyway. Okay, so let's move this over to, well, let's keep right here. All right, so active, passive, you know, we ask ourselves always, what is voice, right? In English. So here's the yellow peg. Let's see. Sorry, give me 1 second, please. Oh yeah, right here. I forget we're in Zoom. Okay, so Camila, can you read the yellow peg, please? This yellow peg that I'm pointing at with the pointer. So what is voice?
Okay. Voice refers to who or what that is doing the verb action in a sentence.
Okay, good. So voice, right? What I just said, right? Voice refers to the who or what that is doing the verb's action in a sentence. Now, the difference between the two, active or passive, is what I just said a little while ago. Active voice, the subject does the action. Passive voice, the subject receives the action. All right, so let's take a look at that. So what is voice? Voice refers to the who or what that is doing the verb's action in a sentence, okay? So let's keep that in mind. Don't forget about that, you know? It's always good to understand what voice is first, all right? And then let's see the differences now between active and passive. So Dyra, can you read the orange peg right here, please? Oops, sorry.
Active voice means the subject is doing the action. Active subject.
Very good. So what I just said, right? In the active voice, the subject is doing the action. That means it's an active subject. I play the piano. I'm eating the sandwich. They're working on a project. They are the subject. They are doing the action. They are working on a project. the project is being worked by them, right? Or the project is worked by them. That's the passive voice, right? I turned it around. The subject became the working on the, what did I say? They are working on the project or something like that. The project becomes the subject, right? Is receiving the action by them that are going to work on it. So that's the difference. That's how you have to see it. You know, it's pretty simple to understand, right? I think. All right. So active voice means the subject is doing the action, right? And then the passive voice, go ahead and read that, please, Camila. Read the green peg, please.
Okay, passive voice means the subject is receiving the action, passive subject.
Very good, right? So in here, the subject is receiving the action. It's a passive subject, like the piano that I play the piano. The piano is played by me, right? The actor, or something, I don't know. Let's think about some more examples. You guys think a couple of examples and see what you guys come up with. Let's see. Give me an example with active voice, Camila.
She's doing her homework.
Right, she's doing her. She does her homework, or she's doing her homework, right? She is the subject doing the action, right? And how would you change that into the passive voice?
The homework is doing her or she.
Usaremos mejor los tenses. A ver, piensa bien cómo dirías, qué tenses utilizarías. What tenses would you use to say that? The homework is what by them? ¿Cómo dirías? Is being done, right? Is being done by them, or is done by them, right? Porque te dices, we're gonna see right now cómo se forma, cómo armamos, right? We'll see it right now, the active with the passive. So that, and then it'll be clear for you, don't worry. All right, so let's see that. So it's clear what active voice is. It's clear what passive voice is, right? All right, so it says, so to figure out whether a sentence is active or passive, look at the subjects. Esas son clavecitas que te dan, like pautas, right? Yeah, key. So to figure out whether a sentence is active or passive, look at the subject. Is the subject performing the action? Then it's active, right? I play the piano, or the band is playing, the orchestra is playing excellent music, right? The orchestra is the subject. They're playing the excellent music, so they're doing the action, right? Performing the action, how it says right here. So it's active, right? And now if they're receiving, like the subject turns around and it's the other way around, the subject is receiving the action, right? Great music was played by the orchestra, right? So that's different. Orchestra played excellent music. Excellent music was played by the orchestra. That's a passive voice then. Okay, so it says examples. Another example, the boy plays the piano. Boy is the subject, plays is the verb, right? The boy is doing the action, therefore the boy is the active subject. Let's see who joined this. Hold on. Let's go here real quick. Oh, Andrew, you're here. Hello, Andrew. How are you? Good evening.
Hi, teacher. Va a disculpar por entrar tarde, es que tenía examen y más bien
Yeah, no worry. Don't
logré
worry.
alcanzar a la clase.
Yeah, no worry. It's okay. No problem. Estamos empezando. We're starting unit 23, que es otra vez active voice, passive voice. Ahorita, hoy día estamos viendo de active voice a passive voice, right? Así. All right, so debe ser una revisión para vos, so no te preocupes. Vas a agarrarla. All right, so esto es entonces active voice. Pareciera que ya acabamos de hacer, ¿no? Andrew, pareciera que acabamos de hacer Unit 23, porque nos tardamos en Unit 23 unos 8 días la anterior vez. Pero Unit 24 fue rápido en 5 clases. So esto va a ir
Sí,
igual,
teacher.
right? Pero va a ir igual en 5. Lo bueno es que esas 8 clases que pasamos con esta unidad, yo he visto la respuesta de todos que han hecho su unidad de written work. Everybody got over 90. A lot of people had 90. Another person has 100. So los cansé tanto with Unit 23 que era el active voice, passive voice con los diferentes tenses, ¿no? Vimos eso. I think that was a good practice, but too long, 8 days. This time we're only gonna spend 5. All right, so active voice, the subject does the action, the boy plays the piano. He's doing the action, he's playing the piano. The piano is being played by the boy. The piano becomes the subject and is receiving the action. So that's passive voice. Active voice, the subject does the action. Passive voice, the subject receives the action. All right, so let's take a look at some other stuff. Let's see, what do we have here? All right, so the piano is played by the boy, whatever, the same thing, right? So therefore, the piano is the passive subject, right? The piano is played by the boy. En el otro era active porque the boy plays the piano, right? All right, so that's it. So why do we get active voice? It's easy to understand. So this is the reason why do we care if it's active or passive? Just for your knowledge, solo para que sepa, right? So active voice is more concise. It's easier to understand, less work for your reader. Like if you write something and I'm reading it, it's less work for me if you use the active voice, right? But I mean, it's active, passive. We use them both all the time. So now you guys know how to use the active and passive. Well, you guys probably used it before anyway, right? Now you just knowing the structure of it a little bit. So I guess these are examples. The dog scares the cat. Dog is subject, scares, right? So just to be extra clear, right? The cat is scared by the dog, passive voice, right? The dog scares the cat, active voice.
Good evening, teacher.
Who is that? Let's see. Oh, Santiago. Hello, sir. How are you? Good evening.
Hello, teacher.
Good, good, very good. We are starting unit 23. Active voice. No, it's passive voice in reality, but we are looking at the difference between active and passive, but the lesson is passive voice, okay? So you probably remember
Okay,
it,
teacher.
or you probably saw it a couple of times, so it's no biggie. All right, so these are just examples, you know, the dog scares the cat, the dog is the subject, is doing the action, so it's active voice. The cat is scared by the dog. The cat becomes the subject, it's receiving the action. It's gonna be scared by the dog, so it's passive voice, right? It's a passive subject or whatnot. All right, let's see what else is there in this Jamboard. Let's just go see some exercises. I think you guys are ready. Present. Okay, so this is the present and past simple with the passive voice. So I mean, the passive voice, you can use it with all the tenses you can think of. We're gonna practice with every tense almost. So this is with the present and past simple passive. It's just basically how do we use it, right? So the active voice and the passive voice. They take the photos. That's active voice because they are the subject and they are doing the action. They're taking the photos, right? This is using the present simple. They take, right? The photos. In the passive voice, the photos are taken, right? By them, podemos colocar, right? The photos are taken. So the verb here, si se acuerdan, con el past, en el past participle of the verb, right? En el passive form. Entonces es, they took the photos, past simple, right? They took the photos. Passive voice, the photos were taken, right? Were, past simple. All right, they took. All right. Yes, y el verbo en el passive voice, the verb tiene que estar en el past participle. Que quiere decir que si es un regular verb, le aumentas ed, ed at the end. If it's an irregular verb, es un poco tricky, ¿no? Es un poco, es molestoso esa parte. Tienes que acostumbrarte a los irregular verbs. Take. A ver, ¿qué es el pasado simple de take?
Taken.
No. Pasado
Take.
simple.
No,
No,
took.
no vean ahí, piensen en lo que ustedes conocían, tal vez.
Took.
Took, exactly, right? Pasado simple. Ahora, cuando hablamos en la voz pasiva, tenemos que ponerlo en el pasado participio. Ahí cambia un poquito, right? Si es un verbo regular verb, you add ed. If it's an irregular verb, it changes a little bit. You have to get to know the irregular verb in su past participle form. So it's take, took, taken. Okay? Past participle de take, taken. Así. Y hay así es muchos de los irregular verbs we have. We'll see them. A medida que los veamos, ustedes van a conocerlos, se acostumbran a usarlos y ya conocen más verbs, irregular verbs en su past participle form. All right. So podemos hacerlo de esa manera o podemos hacer preguntas también, right? How often or when are the photos taken? When were the photos taken? Right? Yes, pero right now no nos preocuparemos de eso. Let's go see some exercises. Veremos unos exercises and see. All right, so let me stop sharing this. So vamos a ver passive voice con todos los tenses. You know? Vamos a repasar cómo se forma, and then we'll do some exercises. And that's the way it'll be. Let me see here. Let's do this one. Let's see. Okay, let me share screen. Okay, so let's see, Daira, do number 1. So it says active and passive voice exercise. Change the following active sentence into the passive voice. So lo que quiero que hagas is first read the active sentence and then give me the answer in the passive voice.
Okay. I did not beat her. She is not beaten by me.
Well, en este sentido tienes que tratar de
Oh,
let's see.
okay.
I did not beat her. She
was not beaten by me.
exactly. Okay, good, very good. So you can use any tense as long as it makes sense. It's okay, right? Digamos para no estar mucho tratando de fijarte in the use of the tense, you know. I did not beat her. She was not beaten by me. So let's say we are choosing this one. Correct. See? Yeah. So let's put this over here. All right. So there you go. She was not beaten by me. All right. Let's see. Camila, do number 2.
Okay. I will never forget this experience. This experience will never be forgotten by me.
Very good, right? So it's maintaining the tense, right? So it can make sense. Right? So I will never forget this experience. So that's active. Why? Because I am the subject. I'm doing the action. I will never forget this experience. Now, if I turn it into the subject, I'm sorry, subject. If I turn it into the passive voice, then the experience becomes the subject and is going to receive the action by me. It will never be forgotten by me. You know what I mean? So that's how you have to see every sentence that we do, analyze it, work your critical thinking a little bit, and you'll be a better English speaker if you do that. All right, so anyway, number 2, good job. All right, so Andrew, do number 3.
Teacher, mother make a cake yesterday. Sería a cake was made by mother yesterday.
Very good. Good job, right? A cake was made by mother yesterday in the passive voice. Good job. Mother made a cake yesterday, active voice. Mother is the subject, it's doing the action. She's making the cake. A cake is being made by my mother, meaning that the cake is the subject now, but it's receiving the action. My mother is making it. Good. Santiago, do number 4, please.
Okay, teacher. The boy tastes the girl. The girl was tasted by the boy.
Good. The boy teased the girl was teased by the boy, right? Good job. Good job. Number 5, let's go with Daira again.
Okay.
Read it first. Read the active voice.
Okay. Did she do her dirty? Was her dirty done by her?
Okay, good, very good, right? Good job. So did she do su trabajo, quiere decir duty, right? Su trabajo, su deber, right? Su deber, más que nada. Did she do her duty? Was her duty done by her? Okay, good, very good. Good job. Camila, do number 6, please. Good job, you guys.
Okay.
I mean,
The tiger was chasing the deer. The deer was chased by the tiger.
so read again the active voice. The tiger was chasing the deer. So now let's see
The tiger was chasing the deer.
Okay, so in the active voice, the tiger is the subject, is doing the action, right? He's chasing the deer. And then if you turn it to the passive voice, the deer becomes the subject and is going to receive the action. Why? Because it's going to be chased by the tiger. So I kind of like gave you the answer there. So what do you think? Choose another answer.
The first, the deer was chased by the
The-
tiger.
No, did you read this one? The middle one? Ya me dijiste el middle, tal vez no te escuché yo. So look at it. A ver, escúchalo. El tigre fue perseguido por what's deer in Spanish? ¿Cómo es? Well, how do you say deer in Spanish, you guys?
El oso, teacher.
Debe ser, right?
Deer.
Con el thing. Reno. No.
¿El ciervo? El
¿Reno?
ciervo, creo. Ciervo.
¿Cómo se llaman los renos? ¿Cómo se llaman los del Papá Noel? ¿Cómo se llaman los
Los renos.
renos, right? Creo que es reno, deer, I think. Reindeer, right? Deer. Okay, because maybe. So, el tigre fue perseguido por los renos. Los renos. Solo, el tigre estaba persiguiendo a los renos. Los renos fueron perseguidos. Estaban siendo perseguidos, tendríamos que decir. The tiger was chasing the deer. The deer was being chased by the tiger. A ver, the tiger was chasing the deer was chased by the tiger. The deer had chased. So tal vez you can probably use both, either one, right? If you use it correctly. The deer was chased by the tiger. The deer was being chased by the tiger. I think both of them are correct. All right, good. All right, where are we at? Number 7. Let's see, Andrew, do number 7.
Okay, teacher. Yeah. She was written a novel. Sería a novel has a novel had written by her.
En español, she has written a novel. Ella escribió. Ella ha escrito. Sería, right? El este. Ella ha escrito una novela. Una novela fue escrita. I don't know how to say it in Spanish. No me pongan a traducir en Spanish porque nos vamos a perder los 5 aquí. All right. So just let's listen in English. Look, she has written a novel. ¿En qué este está? She has, they have, present.
Present perfect.
Right, exactly. So she has written a novel. A novel has been written by her. ¿Quién está de acuerdo?
Es eso.
Right? So así. So ahorita vamos a hacer tantos ejemplos con los tiempos que it's not going to be no problem afterwards. All right, good. Let's see. Santiago, do number 8.
She has learned her lessons. Her lessons has learned by her.
A ver, otra vez, repítetelo vos a ti mismo otra vez y a ver, búscame otra oración que. She has, otra vez estamos en el present perfect. She has learned her lesson, and then you have to turn it with the.
Teacher, sería her lessons have been learned by her.
Very good, exactly. She has learned her lessons. Her lessons have been learned by her, right? Si diría aquí, she had learned her lessons. Her lessons had been learned by her, right? ¿Se dan cuenta? Si hubiera estado en el pasado, principio, she had learned, right? All right, good. Number 9, let's see, Daira, do number 9. And how many do we have? Okay, 2 more.
Have you finished the report? Has the report been finished by you?
Very good. Have you finished the report? Has the report been finished by you? Very good, good job. And Camila, do the last one.
Okay. The police have caught the chief. Sería. Teacher. Okay. The chief has been caught by the police.
Very good, good job. Right, the police have caught the thief. the thief has been caught by the police. Very good. Good job, you guys. All right, so now let's stop sharing this. And so now let's use the chat box real quick and let's put a few examples. Let's see 3 examples, active voice, and then you change it to the passive voice. It doesn't matter what tense you use, as long as it makes sense. Read it a couple of times after you write it, see if it makes sense to you. If it doesn't have fluency, then you must not have done it right. That's like one way to know, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, like in these sentences, if you read the wrong answers, like the police have caught the thief. The thief was, well, that kind of sounds good, sounds right too. The thief was caught by the police, it's not wrong. The thief had been caught by the police, just in a different tense. Sorry, excuse me, just in a different tense, right? All right, so anyway, just give me some examples, 3. Active voice first, and then change those same ones to passive voice. And don't try to do so, don't do too simple sentences, you know what I mean? Give me some compliment in there somewhere, a little bit at least, but doesn't matter, just as long as you're using active and change, you know how to change it to passive. That's what I need to see. All right, so chat box, please, everybody here in the chat box. Write your examples. So I'll give you a few minutes for that. Meanwhile, I'll drink some water. If you have any questions or doubts, let me know. I'm gonna write my own examples too in a few minutes.